The 2024 WNBA season has undoubtedly brought intense excitement, and two names have been at the forefront of this season's narrative: A'ja Wilson, the established star of the Las Vegas Aces, and Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation of the Indiana Fever. The question on everyone's mind is whether A'ja Wilson feels threatened or even jealous of this new rising talent, Caitlin Clark, and if we are witnessing a brewing rivalry that could shape the future of the WNBA. As these two players battle not only for the MVP title, but also for the right to be called the face of the league, the stakes couldn't be higher.
A'ja Wilson has had the most difficult season of her career. She couldn't get the credit she deserved because Caitlin Clark showed up, and this is proof that her life is 10 times as hard as, to get the same credit. She's MVP of the league, I think, for the third time. She's won 2 championships. She's got a statue at the University of South Carolina.
A'ja Wilson has been the undisputed leader of the WNBA for several years. Since being drafted first overall by the Las Vegas Aces in 2018.
With the first pick in the 2018 WNBA draft, the Las Vegas Aces select A'ja Wilson from the University of South Carolina.
She has become a 2-time MVP, Olympic gold medalist, and WNBA champion. Her dominance on both ends of the floor has made her one of the most complete players in the game. Known for her powerful presence in the paint, elite shot blocking, and ability to score at will, Wilson has consistently led the league in scoring and blocks, all while being a major force in rebounding. She has been the heart and soul of the Aces and the face of the WNBA. As the 2024 season approached, many believed it would be business as usual for Wilson. Another year of dominance, another MVP title, and perhaps another championship for the Aces. Her performances were remarkable, as expected, and most fans and analysts saw her as the inevitable MVP winner.
But when you look at the numbers, the dominance in the midst of championships, A'ja Wilson's run is only comparable right now to prime Shaquille O'Neal.
However, this narrative began to change when a new, younger player entered the league, Caitlin Clark. Clark had already made waves at Iowa, where she had an illustrious college career, and her transition into the WNBA was nothing short of spectacular. From her very first game with the Indiana Fever, Clark showed that she was not just a promising young player, but one of the best in the entire league. Clark's rookie season has been a revelation, averaging nearly 20 points per game, leading the league in assists, and shooting a remarkable percentage from beyond the arc. She immediately turned the struggling Indiana Fever into playoff contenders for the first time in nearly a decade. Her impact was not just felt in the statistics. Clark brought a fearless, competitive energy to the court that not only endeared her to fans, but also made her a potential MVP candidate in her very first season. Her confidence, her ability to sink buzzer beaters, and her leadership in crucial moments set her apart from other rookies and instantly drew comparisons with the league's best, including Wilson.
The one thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. Don't get it twisted. Don't get up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA.
As the season progressed, it became clear that Caitlin Clark and A'ja Wilson were on a collision course. The MVP race, which many had thought Wilson would dominate, became a tightly contested battle between veteran experience and rookie brilliance. Every stat, every game, and every performance was compared, and the media played no small part in fueling this rivalry. Social media was abuzz with debates about who deserved the MVP title more. Clark's fans argued that her transformative impact on the Indiana Fever, a team that had been at the bottom of the league for years, was more deserving of the MVP title. On the other hand, Wilson's supporters believed that her continued dominance and leadership of the top-seeded Aces made her the rightful MVP. The fan bases were divided, and the league had never seen such a buzz around the MVP conversation. The tension between Wilson and Clark reached its peak when the Indiana Fever faced the Las Vegas Aces in a regular season thriller. Clark, playing with her usual swagger, dropped 35 points and hit a game-winning buzzer-beater 3 to seal the win. Wilson's visible frustration, hands on hips, clearly upset, was caught on camera, and the moment went viral, sparking even more speculation about the brewing rivalry between the two stars. While Wilson downplayed the loss, it was evident that Clark's emergence as a legitimate MVP candidate was starting to get under her skin. Wilson had always been the face of the league, the star around whom the WNBA revolved. But now, Clark was becoming a serious contender for that role. The 2024 MVP awards ceremony was the culmination of this intense season, and all eyes were on A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark. Wilson, dressed elegantly and sitting confidently with her Aces teammates, was expected by most analysts to walk away with her third MVP trophy. However, Clark's presence at the awards raised eyebrows. How often does a rookie get invited to an event where they are up against one of the league's greatest players for the MVP title? As the night went on, the tension in the room was palpable. When Wilson's name was called as the MVP, there was a collective sigh of relief from her supporters. However, the camera quickly panned to Clark, who was seen clapping politely, but with an intensity in her eyes that spoke volumes. For Wilson, what should have been a moment of pure triumph was overshadowed by the looming presence of Clark. It was a bittersweet victory, and rumors quickly spread that Wilson was furious behind the scenes.
Obviously, I want to thank my parents so much for just everything that they've done, the sacrifices that they've made, holding me accountable in times where you could have just kind of let me fall underneath the rug, but that's always good. I also obviously want to thank South Carolina and Coach Daly. The fact that anything I do gives another person and another Black girl the small bit of hope, that's what keeps me going. Keeps me trying to be the best that I can be always.
Reports surfaced that Wilson felt disrespected by Clark's presence at the awards ceremony. Some speculated that she believed the rookie was there to steal her spotlight. Leaked videos showed Wilson in a heated conversation with her teammates after the ceremony, fueling the speculation that she was not pleased with how the night unfolded. Wilson, of course, handled the situation with professionalism in public, giving interviews where she downplayed the rumors, insisting that her focus was on winning championships. But the murmurs persisted. Was Wilson feeling the pressure of a younger star threatening her position as the face of the WNBA? The days following the MVP awards were filled with intense debates and discussions. Fans on social media were quick to take sides. Some argued that Wilson had every right to feel disrespected, while others believed that Clark had earned the right to be there after her incredible rookie season. Basketball analysts weighed in as well. Some believed Wilson's frustration was a sign of her fierce competitive spirit, a desire to remain the best in the league.
Us as Black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me, and she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point, and also like she's good at basketball, obviously. But like she understands her privilege and like what pushes her over the top in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you, and I mean that's a compliment.
Others suggested that Wilson subconsciously recognized that Clark represented the future of the WNBA, and her reign as the league's top player might be coming to an end. Clark, for her part, remained silent on the matter, choosing instead to post a congratulatory message to Wilson on social media, praising her as a worthy MVP. While this gesture seemed gracious on the surface, some couldn't help but wonder if Clark felt she had been snubbed for the MVP award despite her record-breaking season. Clark's silence only fueled more speculation. Was she quietly biding her time, waiting for the right moment to fully challenge Wilson's throne? As the WNBA entered the playoffs, both Wilson and Clark had something to prove. For Wilson, the playoffs were an opportunity to further cement her legacy as one of the greatest players of all time by leading her team to another championship. For Clark, the playoffs were a chance to show that her rookie season was not a fluke, that she could perform on the biggest stage and lead the Fever to a deep playoff run. Fans eagerly awaited a potential showdown between the two stars, a playoff clash that would symbolize the passing of the torch from one era of the WNBA to the next. This season will undoubtedly be remembered for the rivalry that has emerged between A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark. While Wilson may have taken home the MVP trophy, the real story of 2024 is the battle between the established superstar and the rising sensation. The narrative is no longer just about who the best player is, it's about who will carry the WNBA into its future. Wilson and Clark represent two different eras of the league, and while Wilson remains the dominant force, Clark's presence is a clear signal that the next generation is here. The rivalry between Wilson and Clark is far from over, as both players continue to push each other to new heights. The WNBA as a whole benefits. Fans are more engaged than ever, debates rage on social media, and the league's visibility has skyrocketed. Whether Wilson can maintain her dominance or if Clark will eventually surpass her remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure. The 2024 WNBA season has set the stage for one of the greatest player rivalries in the history of women's basketball. So, is A'ja Wilson jealous of Caitlin Clark? Maybe. But more than that, what we are seeing is the natural evolution of a competitive rivalry, one that will likely define the WNBA for years to come. Both players want to be the best, and both will stop at nothing to prove it. As the WNBA continues to grow in popularity, Wilson and Clark will be at the forefront, battling not just for individual accolades, but for the title of who is the true face of the league. The fight for WNBA supremacy has only just begun.